Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Random Shit from a Gen Xer. My name is Brian, and I'm coming to you from the palatial, the wonderful Chateau de Gibbons here in the Oak Lawn area of Dallas, Texas. And today what we're going to go ahead and talk about is something that really kind of bothered me this morning a little bit. I like to read the section in Reddit called breakups because sometimes there's really good advice in there and sometimes there's not. People can be very cynical. They will look at these posts, and one particular post really bothered me today, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Young man, about 24 years old. He'd just gotten out of a 2.5-year relationship with this young lady. They'd been on no contact for about a month, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, she decides to go ahead and contact him. She texts him and says, hey, I'm sorry for what happened. I really handled this terribly. I'd like to talk to you. They go ahead and they meet up. They sit and they talk for about 3 hours, and everything goes really well. They talk about different things, about what she did wrong, what he did wrong, everything such as that. And reading it, I felt that a lot of people missed the point. First off, she went ahead and contacted him after about a month, and that they went ahead and they met. And then after they met, they talked for another hour and a half on the phone. Another time they talked for another hour, another time for 2 hours, and they decided to go ahead and meet up again, which they haven't done yet, but everything is looking really good. That he feels very positive, but he's confused because he doesn't want her to hurt him again. And I was reading the comments, and in the comments, a lot of times people were not taking into the full context of what was actually going on. It's like they would read snippets of it, and all they read was, she broke up with me, yada, 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 she wants to meet. They don't go ahead and they read the whole post. And they were saying things like, no, don't give her another chance. No, don't do this. No, why would you go ahead and put yourself through that again? Which, to me, is unfathomable. And the reason why I say that is this, is that she made these huge, substantial moves in this relationship to go ahead and reopen it. She wants to reconnect. It's very plain and simple. She's the one that went ahead and apologized. Then they sat down and they talked for things. Those are huge moves. This isn't something to where there were any type of physical alterations or mental things that were going on, anything like that at all. And people are saying, oh no, she's toxic. Don't even think about it. Why would you do this? And the poor guy, he's just there, he's confused because he doesn't know if he wants to open his heart back up to her or not. He's not sure. He wants to, but he doesn't want to get hurt again. And see, that's the thing I think that a lot of people in life nowadays, they don't really know how to do, is that they don't know how to go ahead and rebuild something that was really good, got broken down, and it could be really good again if you have good communication. Well, these two obviously had some pretty decent communication, or else they wouldn't talk on the phone as much as they did, and they wouldn't talk for as long in person as what they did. It's all in the subtleties. You have to read everything. It's like what I was talking the other day in episode 3 about how life, everybody thinks it's black and white, and where it's not. You only have 10% black and white. The other 90% is gray. Life is messy. It's not going to be perfect. You have to go ahead, and in my opinion, If you have movement like that from the other person that's willing to go ahead and talk to you, that wants to go ahead and make things work out, that you go ahead and you give them that chance to go ahead and do so. Now, do you go into this full-blown right away? Unlike me, I want to go full-blown right away if something like that happens to me, because more than likely the person that, let me rephrase. If you're the one that got dumped and the other person comes back to you and they want to talk and they want to sit and they want to hear things and they want to hear what's happened, then to be honest, I want to jump back in full bore, but I know that you can't do that. And my advice to this young man was different from everybody else. I said, look, I'm 59 years old. Yes, it's hard to believe with this beautiful face that I'm 59, but yes, I'm 59 years old. So I've been around a block or two. I've been the dumper. I've been the dumpy. I've been blindsided. I've been the one that's done the blindsiding. If you were in a relationship and you've gone in no contact, or if there's been no contact between the two of you, or little contact in between the two of you, and you want to meet back up, then go into it. You got to have a little bit of hope. It's like I said the other day, and this is, one of the things that I live by, is that chance and hope go together. If you want to give it a chance, you've got to have a little bit of hope. And if you have hope, you can go ahead and you can give things a chance. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Not in life, not in anything like that. And it was just saddening to me that everybody's like, oh no, she did this once, she's going to do it again. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. So for people who don't know you and they don't know the circumstances of the breakup, they're just reading, a little synopsis here on Reddit, and people say, oh, she's toxic. Oh, she did it to you once, she's going to do it to you again. It's, oh, you've got to save yourself. Don't open yourself back up to that. Take time, heal yourself. No, if she's willing to go ahead and reach out to you, then, or if her or him are willing to go ahead and reach out to you, why wouldn't you want to go ahead and give it a chance? Unless the relationship ended out bad. And I'm sorry, I just got preoccupied by looking at one of my pictures up on a wall that I just realized is, well, half of them are up there are crooked, but this one's really bothering me. I digress. Anyways, getting back to it, it's just like I saw another one the other day. Same type of thing. We broke up. It really wasn't a bad breakup. She just said, I don't want to see you anymore. She went ahead and she contacted, and this was another he and her. She went ahead and she contacted him, about 3 months later after the breakup, saying, hey, how are you doing? I'd like to talk sometime. And he was like, no, I'm not really sure right now. Let me have some space. I'm having a hard time with this. Girl goes ahead, gives him the space, is going to be home next week, wherever home is. She's off somewhere else, but she was going to be there next week in August. And she wanted to go ahead and sit down with him and talk with him and things such as that. She, reached out to him a second time after giving him some space. And people are just so cynical. No, why would you do that? Why would you open yourself up to that kind of thing? Why not? They listened to you. They reached out. They did a really hard part. And reaching out after silence is really tough. Doesn't matter if you're the dumpy or the dumper. It's really tough to go ahead and reach out after some silence. But she was a dumper. So that even goes ahead and, just like the first one, makes it more significant. It's a huge, substantial move for somebody to go ahead, in a relationship that did the breaking up, to go ahead and bring that, try to come back because, or try to rekindle something because they know that they did the hurting. And they more than likely feel bad that the hurting happened. But sometimes hurt is good. Sometimes getting hurt like that, I've been in relationships before to where, I've been told, oh, well, I'm seeing somebody else. Or, this just isn't working out. Or, I just don't know. I just need some time for myself. And in the past, a lot of times, I didn't go ahead and stop and take a look at myself and see what could have caused, anything of that nature. I didn't do any internal retrospective, I guess you can go ahead and say. So that gives me a different experience than a lot of people, is that I have learned now that if something like that happens, that you go ahead and you look at yourself and say, all right, what did I do? What did I cause to do this? Because more than likely, if somebody else wants to break up with you, if your partner wants to break up with you, then you've neglected something in a relationship. These two, they really didn't get into that, but with the context of their significant others both reaching out after time, after silence, that's huge. And everybody probably 65-70% of the people in the thread are going ahead and saying, oh my God, no, don't do it. Don't go back with them. Don't give it a chance. Don't hurt yourself again. You're just setting up for failure. Everything like that. And that's really sad, because both of these people, if you read the whole thing, read the whole threads, both of them said that they were in very caring, loving relationships and that everything was great. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, boom, they don't want to, their partner doesn't want to be in it anymore. And that happens. It really does. And then people are saying, then they go ahead and they come back, to reach out and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you. I apologize. I'm sorry. Things such as that. And people are so cynical. Why would you put yourself up to that? Don't you know that they're going to do it again? You hurt yourself you got hurt the first time. Stop it. Just don't let them do it. And it's terrible. It's truly, truly terrible, because people don't have open minds anymore. Like I said, people are nowadays, they try to put everything as black and white, and life is not black and white. It's gray. It's messy. Not everything is going to be perfect. You're going to have problems in life. You're going to have problems in relationships. It's how you go ahead and you learn from these things. And both of them had a little bit of time to go ahead and, like me, take some time, figure out what was going on, what they might have done better, what they might have learned, or what they could have done to go ahead and grow as a person. And that's something that's really important. And it just saddens me that people are just so cynical. And it doesn't matter if you're young or old or really old like me. If you can go ahead and look at something and honestly say to yourself, and I think that this is part of the problem, is that what could I have done better? Not that the other person, oh, they dumped me. Oh my God. This is just such the most terrible thing ever, because I hate them, and things like that. I'm so bitter. I can't believe that she would do this to me, or I can't believe that he would do this to me. That everything is all their fault, and then you get bitter and you get angry and you get mad. But it's not always like that, because if you have a breakup that's really actually a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more amicable type of breakup to where they just say, hey, this just isn't really working out for me. Yeah, you're going to be heartbroken and everything like that. I'm not going to lie. You know, been there, done that. But it's how you learn from it. It's what you can take from it. You know, I've realized, you know, and I'm just talking about me. I've realized in the past that fear drove a lot of things in me, and that goes back to the other one. That fear went ahead and drove me, because I was doing great in a relationship one time, and I thought everything was going really well, and then all of a sudden, you know, things started happening, not to where the other person was doing anything bad or anything like that at all, but to where instead of just being happy and being in a moment and enjoying the relationship for what it was, in trying to build the relationship, I decided something's wrong, something's going on. And instead of just being happy, I was turned into fearful Brian, and I let everything go ahead and out of fear, go ahead and run everything. I was afraid that I'd lose them. I was afraid that they weren't going to talk to me anymore. I was afraid of basically just losing them. And that drove me not only in one, but actually a couple of relationships. And then you don't turn into the person that you were when you met that other person. And then next thing you know, yeah, I'm seeing somebody else, or I decided that this isn't going to work out. And then people are so cynical that if you go ahead and you tell the story like that and you put it out there, and you know, people are, it's a lot different. Let me go ahead and say it like this. It's a lot different than when I was younger, because we have different avenues now where we can go ahead and express ourselves. And sometimes these avenues can help us and sometimes they don't. I just don't understand why people have to go ahead and somebody's like, okay, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I want to go ahead and get back with this person, but you know, I'm not sure how I should handle this. And it's simple. If you want to be back with them, which both of the people did, and they wanted to meet up with them. You know, there are some people that were saying in the second one, well, okay, they want to talk to you, but first go ahead and ask them, what do you want to talk about? What is this going to go ahead and do for our relationship? And that's not what you want to do, because then you're going to go ahead and you're going to argue out the course or argue out what happens in the meeting, and you're never going to end up having the meeting because you want to know exactly what they're going to talk about first. And that's not right, because you don't know. They could just want to be friends. So what you do is you just go into it with some hope, because you have to have hope. Hope and chance they go together hand in hand, like I said in the last episode. You can't have hope if you don't give them a chance, and you can't give a chance if you don't have some hope. So, you know, it's sad, but just people nowadays, they just don't, they want the instant gratification. And that's not how life is. Life is not instant. Not everybody's going to win the lottery. You have to give relationships time, and they go through rocky spells. They go through points to where you wonder, oh my God, are we ever going to get back together? Oh my God, this is it. This is the end. Yada yada yada, all that kind of stuff. And it's not that black and white. Things are going to happen. It's how you as a person go ahead and do it and handle the situation. That's what's going to matter. You have to go with what your heart says, to be perfectly honest. If you don't follow your heart, you don't know what to do. And because sometimes your mind will play tricks on you. Sometimes your heart will too. But you got to give things a chance. If there are signs like that and there was no, let's say, physical, emotional, or mental abuse, and you ended things amicably, why not if they go ahead and they reach out? I'm just saying. Don't be so cynical. Not everybody is out to go ahead and manipulate people or do things like that. People are people. We don't know what we want from one day to the other a lot of times. But when somebody goes ahead and reaches out to you after a long period of time, or even a short period of time, if they reach back out to you after there's been no contact, let's say, there's a reason. And it's probably not to just go ahead and make themselves feel better. You got to go ahead and you got to talk things through. Communication is the key. And with that, y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Comment if you have any comments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.